Hey folks, welcome back to Real Estate Investing Unmasked. Today, we're going to talk about getting bids on your house. So when you're working on your property, it doesn't matter whether this is a rental property or a fixer-upper or whatever, or it's just your own property that you're living in. Anytime you're having work done on any of your properties, you really should get multiple bids. Now, there was a time when I first started where I thought, I'll just get a bid and that's good enough. What I wish I had known before I started investing was getting multiple bids is no big deal. The people giving those bids, they know whether they're coming in high, low, or medium. They've been in the industry for a long time. So when you ask somebody to give you a bid, always ask for a free estimate. If they're not willing to give you a free estimate, don't ask them. Say, yeah, forget it. I'll look for somebody else. Now, for those of you that live in smaller towns, smaller areas where maybe you don't have a whole lot of framers or roofers or plumbers or HVAC guys, you may get kind of stuck. You may have to pay for an estimate. That stinks. However, here's one of the great things about estimates. Even if you have to pay for an estimate, which I don't remember the last time I paid for an estimate. All my estimates have been free, but I live close enough to a city, so I don't really have to worry about that. I've got plenty of competition. One of the best things about estimates is when somebody comes in, you can ask them, tell me, how much would you charge just for labor if I buy all the materials? Then ask them, what would it cost to do the whole thing? Break up the project. There are multiple things that you learn from this. When you get an estimate and you get them to break up the project in labor hours and material costs, you also know how many people they're going to have on site working at your home. This gives you an idea of, can I do this myself or can I not? Are they overcharging me for materials or are they not? And if there's some kind of material, for instance, I have a tile guy that right now is doing the tile on my floor. When he came over and gave me an estimate, he had a board of probably about 10 different tiles to choose from, because that's where he gets the bulk discount by buying just these tiles. And so when he came over, he showed me, he says, these are the tiles that I can get, and it's going to cost this much money to get them. He knew exactly because he uses those all the time. Well, if there's a tile that you like that they don't offer, then all you have to do is say, well, how much would it cost for you to get all the material except for the tile, and then I'll go buy the tile that I want. Maybe you want an expensive tile. Maybe you want a cheap tile. Doesn't matter. You can get them to break up that amount. Now, if you get somebody out there and says, you know what, it's all or nothing, you can say, okay, fine, give me an estimate for everything. Don't turn them away, because it could be that they're coming up with a really good deal. It could be they're an artisan and will do an amazing job. Get their estimate. It builds that rapport with them, just in case you ever need somebody to back up. You know, if you're like, oh, this guy didn't turn out, at least have somebody else to go to. Don't ever blow anybody off. Get their estimate, and that gives you a general idea of what you need to complete the job. Now, I use estimates all the time. For instance, when I got my HVAC system, before I went and bought my HVAC system, I got estimates from 3 different guys, and they told me differing amounts, how much it would cost to install it. Now, I know an HVAC guy that lives far away from where my property is that I'm fixing up. And what I did was I approached him and I said, hey, I know you can get the wholesale price. Would you mind passing on the savings to me? And the guy said, certainly. So when I talked to the people who are giving me estimates, I asked them, can you give me the wholesale price on the machinery? Of course, they're like, no, we can't do that. Unfortunately, no, we can't pass on the savings. So I said, okay, well, give me an estimate of what it would cost for me to buy the unit. So I'm going to buy the unit. I'm going to buy all the material. And you just tell me what it's going to cost for labor and for charging the system, which I can't do. So they gave me the cost for each one. And I had a couple that said, you know what, tell me the cost for you to buy the unit, and then tell me the cost for me to buy the unit and you install everything. And it varied largely. The highest was $9,000, the lowest was $5,000. That's just for the labor. That didn't even include the unit. So when you get something like that, it gives you a general idea of what they're doing. Now, the other thing I did too is I asked them, how much would it cost per hour for me to hire you as a consultant? If I were to have you come out, let's say by 2 hours of your time to consult, to show me what I did right or what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. How much would that cost? For instance, I had a plumber who said, "I'll charge you $110 for 2 hours of time." Okay, that tells me it's $55 an hour just as a consultant, but those 2 hours don't have to be all in one big fell swoop. And that means he doesn't do any of the labor. He just tells me what I'm doing right or wrong. That's multi-dimensional in that I can learn how to do something the right way because I'll have an expert behind me. But at the same time, it prepares me for other things in the future. It also lends me to having this relationship with this person where perhaps they are willing to do a little bit of hands-on while I'm doing it, so I do get it done right. Or I might have that second hand available when I'm doing it. So I can get my sweat equity, but I'm also getting the expert hands-on. And that's a great way. If you're going to get somebody to come out and do bids and help you, get a bid on their consultation. So you get a bid on their consultation, get a bid on what it would cost for them per hour to do this. You're going to find out how many hours it's going to take because they're going to tell you. And if you know an expert's going to take, say, 5 hours to do something, and you're not an expert at it, then at least double it. And that could be what it's going to take you. Now, it depends on what it is. But everything in the construction industry, almost everything, is something doable by anyone, really. There's some things that I don't feel comfortable doing, and I'm sure there are things that you don't feel comfortable doing. But for instance, installing a toilet is so super easy. And at first glance, when you look at it, you may say, oh, I'm not going to touch that. But when you get all the things together, you get the donut, you put the wax seal, you put it on, you tighten it up, done. And you put on the little hose, done. It's super easy. So taking the time to get estimates gives you a layout of everything you need. If you want to build a house from scratch, get a general contractor to come in and bid the whole system and have them write out the plan. If they give you a free estimate, they basically told you all the materials you need. They told you how much everything's going to cost. So it's very simple. They've laid out the plan for you. Then you can go shop for each individual thing. So if they say, hey, it's going to be $20,000 as a line item for doing the foundation, then you go start talking to cement workers and say, hey, how much would it cost for you to come on the weekend and build the forms and everything to put in my foundation? And you may very quickly find that instead of $20,000 for a form with a general contractor, you can do it for $13,000 or $12,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is. I haven't done a foundation in a long time. So you just take advantage of those estimates. It's free education. I had, as an example, I had an electrician that came over to my house. I did the wiring for the whole house except for the electric box, except for the circuit box. I let somebody else do that. I brought all the wires over. They came in and I said, hey, on this estimate, I want you to tell me how much it would cost for you just to wire the box. Well, the guy's already at my house. So he looks at the box, sees how many wires I have, and he tells me how much it's going to be. I said, hey, I'm not done yet with the wiring. What are some of the things that I need to do to pass inspection? Now I'm getting free information. I'm getting a free education. So he's telling me, oh, you have to have the staples here, and you have to have this here, and you have to have this certain gauge here, and you can't change the gauges, and you have to have an outlet here, and you have it there. And when you do that, you have the potential of saving thousands of dollars. For instance, I installed my HVAC system, and I saved about $4,000. And if you want the high price guy, somewhere around $8,000 in labor. So you can save a ton of money if you take advantage of those free estimates, get the guy out to your property, that's okay, and get them to write up the paperwork, that's okay. Even at Lowe's, you want to install a kitchen? Go to Lowe's. Home Depot probably has it too. You go and give them all the dimensions of everything, how high it is off the floor to your outlet, how far it is from the wall to the outlet, to the window, to everything. Give them all your measurements. They will draw up a kitchen plan for you for free, giving you a whole shopping list of what cabinets to buy. Well, once you know that, then you can shop around cabinets. You can say, hey, cabinet store A, I need this list of cabinets. Hey, cabinet store B, I need this list of cabinets. And you can send it off and you can shop around and you can get a really good deal. So hopefully this has helped. It's what I wish I had known before I started investing in real estate. I wish I had known that I could go get estimates from all these people and not worry about their time, because they know if they give you a good deal, they're going to get the job. And I've used that many times on my fix and flips where I say, you know what, it's not worth my time to do this job when they can do it for this much, and they're a good referral. That's the other thing. Talk to these people about people. They refer you for other people. If you get a really solid worker, ask them for a referral for something else that you're working on. That's what I've done multiple times, and I have been pleasantly surprised by the people that have come into my house and worked on stuff and charged me prices that were very decent and did amazing jobs. So anyway, those are things I wish I'd known before I started investing. If you have your own story about having somebody come out and giving you an estimate and it was awesome or it was terrible, just comment down below. I would love to read them. If you have questions about it, also mention it down below. Please subscribe, and if you like the video, give one thumbs up. If you don't like the video, click it down twice. It's just that easy. Till next time.